Alright, here's a bit of a throwback in my life. It's been about a year and a month since I filmed and put this one together and edited this video, and a year and a day since I uploaded anything to YouTube. So let's see what I can remember of this build. So I'm just gonna talk my way through this video. I haven't watched this in 12 months since I edited it. So basically I needed a new water tank for the left side of my house. I have I think a 1500 litre tank around one side, and I wanted a tank around the other side because my hose doesn't reach around, and my main tank is always running out of water during the summer, and I wanted a backup tank. So I'd never actually laid a foundation before for something like this, so I think I'm doing a decent enough job here. I dug out a shallow pit, filled it with gravel and sand, and tampered it down, and it was nice and solid in the end, so I'm pretty happy. There's probably a better way of doing this. I was just kind of winging it as I went along. And looking at the shadow there, this is probably the last thing I filmed on my phone before I got my GoPro. I didn't get the GoPro to film backyard videos. It was because I was going to Europe and wanted to film when we went to the lagoon in Iceland. It's a fun fact. So just tamping down the sand and the gravel, and my dog Griffin has to be around everything I do all the time, which is adorable. What are we doing here? I was making sure it's a bit level and just adding sand where required to flatten off. You'll see the pipe on the right there actually. That's my overflow pipe. When I originally dug up the bit to the right where you see this kind of raised garden bed, that's actually a soil holding area. There's a waste pipe that runs behind the little shed there, so I've plumbed in this overflow for probably 6 months prior to actually doing this, knowing that I was going to put a tank there. This one time I actually had 4 for it. Alright, so these large pavers, they were sitting in my yard when I bought the house. They were behind the house, leaning up against the wall. They were absolutely filthy. I'd previously given them a good wash, but I figured if I'm throwing them down, I'll give them another wash and then a bit of a brush here. They're bloody heavy, and annoyingly the 3 of them don't quite fill the gap I needed, so there's a bit of a gap between the pavers once I put all 3 down, but that's okay. So we're just throwing down some more stones here to level out the pavers. I only included this shot because Griffin just wanted to be a star. You wouldn't believe how many shots she comes up and just stands in front of the camera. She must know. It's pretty funny. Anyway, got the pavers down and did a test fit with the water tank, and that's kind of what it looks like from a few angles. Really happy with the look. It fits good against the side of the shed, and there you see the little gap between pavers. That's okay. So now the test fit is in. We'll pull it out, fill the gaps between the pavers, and then pop the tank back in. I must have tried to be artistic here. Nice super close-up shot. like I said, it was filling the gap, tamping down some stone, and doing the old sand routine again. Nothing too exciting. I just want to point out that I'm no expert in these matters. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, so happy for any feedback. Now you'll notice that just on the bottom right there, I haven't actually put any stone or sand. I think that was because I was going to drill out the hole in the bottom there to plug it up, and I wasn't really sure if I had the clearance. What am I pointing here? Oh yeah, I plan on basically getting rid of all this dirt there and having a nice gravel area, a nice stone walkway or something. Alright. Trip back from the hardware store. We got all our pipes and guttering and connectors and whatnot. I actually kind of like guttering. It's not the worst job in the world. And I bought the wrong size hole bit there. So that was a trip back to the hardware store. Alright, so guttering's a bit of fun. I bought 2 lengths of gutter, got to cut them to size, fit one over the second one, so we've got the proper length in the back of the shed. Just cutting off the lip there so the overlap works a bit better, as you can see there. I'm gonna, I can't really stop here, but just point out that the shorter one is going to be the higher side of the gutter, so the water's going to run from the short one down to the long. So it's important to put the short bit above the long one, so the water runs downhill over the seam. Alright, I'm going to drill some holes, get some rivet action going. I'm pretty sure I break my rivet gun here from memory. This is just a cheap one that I got from Hammer Barn. I spent a long time troubleshooting this. So after that, we got a new rivet gun, and we're actually in a different locale. I was watching telly. I think I was watching cabin building videos while I did this. Got very, very distracted watching cabin building videos. And a year later, I'm still watching cabin building videos. Anyway, putting the end caps on the gutter. Got to seal around. There we go. Nice long bit of guttering. Give it a quick coat of paint to match the shed colour. Or am I just priming? Alright, back to the tank. I actually was terrified of drilling this hole. I emailed the company and asked the best way to do it, and they recommended a slightly smaller diameter than the opening. But drilling into a $800-900 tank was pretty scary. Ooh, again with the extreme close-up shot here, which is out of focus. Great. Oh, that's a good hole. So down the bottom here, I'm just plugging it off because I plan on down the line adding a pump so I can get some pressurized water out. And I want to house the pump around the corner there and have it run off some sort of solar setup. Around the front of the tank though, we're just going to put in a simple tap so that I can just have some quick access to water if I need it to wash my hands, if I'm out in the garden, or if I need to just like drip feed my trees or board beds in the event that the main tank runs out. Alright, what have we got here? Oh yeah, my tank came with this tank level gauge, which is pretty cool. Again, scary drilling into the tank, but you know, we're already committed at this point. That was a perfect fit, and I realized the second I put it in that I was never getting that out. So the way this little gauge works is that the little tampon on the end of the string there just moves a dial on the face of the level. So when the tampon's when the tank's empty and it's like on the ground level, it'll sit on empty on the dial, and then as the tank fills up, the tampon will float and the string that's attached to will coil back up and around, and it'll just rotate the arrow on the face of the thing. It's a really simple thing, and it's like elegant and effective. Alright, what do we got here? Oh yeah, we're gonna put our overflow pipe in. So I've been back to the store and bought the appropriate size hole saw. That shrapnel, great. Gonna throw some silicone around it. Some waterproof silicone. And we're gonna pop that on and screw it into place. Oh, silicone around here as well. So that's the first step of the puzzle. I would do things a lot differently if I went back in time. I've learned a lot in the last year. Alright. So what am I doing here? I'm just spitballing angles of how I'm going to get that overflow from the top down. Figuring out the lengths of pipes that I might need to cut. Doing a bit of test fitting. Yeah, that looks alright. Pretty happy. Pull it apart. And I think we're going to do the old glue technique. I just want to point out that it's important when you put your two bits together here to hold them in place and keep it nice and tight, because if you just push it on and let it go, they actually can separate a little bit. So give it a nice firm hold for say like 20-30 seconds till the glue starts to set. Tank doesn't look like it's in position properly. I think it's just the angle. So there we go. Overflow sorted. Don't worry about all that extra glue. See, that runs under there and then joins onto a pipe that runs behind my shed. So where are we? Oh yeah, it rained overnight and my gutter filled up with water, which is a good sign that it's not leaking and that all my seals are waterproof. So happy about that. Alright, here we are cutting out the hole for the downspout. We're just going to use the same thing we did before, the old silicone and some rivets to hold it down technique. And a bit more silicone to waterproof. So I'm going to preface this bit by saying I spent hours and hours trying to get this gutter up on the back of the shed here, and I made a very, very fatal mistake. So you'll see that all of my gutter brackets are on the flat part of the back wall there. That made it so I didn't have the clearance that I needed to hook the gutter into the little hooks underneath to make it sit flat. in hindsight, I should have put my gutter brackets on the ridges. That's a lesson learned. I've never had that happen before because I've never put a gutter on a shed. And yeah, so it took me a long time to not only work that out, but it took me a long time to kind of brute force my way around so that the gutter sat in place. So there was quite a few screws through the back of the gutter into the shed to hold it in place, but it worked in the end. Not the most elegant solution, but it worked. Alright, and much like the downspout, or the overflow, sorry, we're just kind of spitballing how to get the water from the gutter into the tank here. Just a couple of elbows. And yes, I know that the pipe goes up slightly, but it sits lower than the level of the gutter, so the water will flow through. I've just kept that one bit of pipe not connected and glued, just so I can get in and clean out the pipe if needed. And believe it or not, it didn't rain for 4 weeks after I installed this, so this was my test to see that the water flowed through. And as planned, it flowed through fine. So there we have it. That was probably a 2-week job, you know, pottering about here and there. Super happy with the way that the tank looks. It's nice and slimline against the shed. Not the most beautiful pipe work, but it got the job done. And a year later, the tank is serving me well, and I'm really happy with the results.
You reckon? Who's your good kid? You are.